Let's talk some toys in here.
Okay, so today for review, we're going to take a look at the new Masters of the Universe, new Eternia Anti-Eternia He-Man. It's part of the Masterverse series. So it's kind of a cool drop, you know, get an Anti-Eternia He-Man added to this line, or series. Now, I think Anti-Eternia He-Man, I want to say it was a fan-created, like, anti-version or dark version of He-Man back in Germany a long time ago. And then at some point, the Classics made one based off that concept, which I do have in package still. I'll bring them in later and show them for comparison in package. I'm going to keep that one in the card. But yeah, it's an interesting. Again, that the Masterverse put this figure out. So here's the art right in front of the box. You can see Anti-Eternia He-Man fighting He-Man with the regular cross armor. And I'm wondering if they're going to put another He-Man or newer He-Man out for new Eternia. Because I think this, I'm not sure about the head sculpt yet. If it's the new Eternia Faker or the Flying Fist He-Man head sculpt, but with the mouth like roaring a little more. Once we get a package, we'll check them out. But what's also cool is they give him a helmet of Castle Hellskull, which I think was also another German created in Germany, a fan kind of concept for the castle and Anti-Eternia He-Man. You can see the castle on the side of the art, and you can even see the Anti-Eternia Battle Cat. And it's interesting online that people are they're making like custom 3D printed Castle Hellskulls. I mean, huge. Or they're painting figures that look like they're part of that Anti-Eternia dimension. But anyway, here's our first look at this He-Man. Pretty cool. So we already talked about he has a Castle Hellskull helmet. Gets some new armor. I think he comes with a bunch of weapons. You can see like an energy or a lava sword in the packaging for what you can see through the window. And then here's a look at the photo illustrations on the back of the box. So of course we can see Anti-Eternia He-Man and his powerful stance, getting ready to battle it out with, I don't know who. It looks like he's in the Anti-Eternia dimension. Look at that shield. Wow, that's awesome. With the Castle Hellskull skull on the front of the shield. Here's another look at that sword. Here's some more images of the figure himself. The head sculpt we can see. And looks like he comes with a three different swords from what I can see. Then dropping down to the very bottom, here's a quick bio on this new Anti-Eternia He-Man. And these are all three figures that's included with this newer wave of Masterverse figures. And of course, here's a look at the art on the right-hand side of the box. And the other thing with Anti-Eternia He-Man, from what I was reading, is that where he came from as far as the concept or the character himself. So he originated from the Europe German Masters of the Universe autoplay audiobooks. And I remember as a kid I had one or two of those. It was a book with a cassette tape. I actually remember those, but I don't know. I've never seen Anti-Eternia He-Man. Apparently he was mentioned somewhere in one of those books, like Volume 2 or something. And I think he was also seen in what they call the MV Creation German comics as well, as far as where this character originated from, and then he evolved from there, going back to the classics and some fan-based stuff as well. Okay, here's a quick look around at a new Anti-Eternia He-Man out of package with all his accessories. He comes decked out with some pretty cool stuff. So, taking a closer look at this new head sculpt for Anti-Eternia He-Man. That looks awesome. I mean, especially with the Castle Hellskull helmet on the face, or head. Check that out. I love that detail. The helmet itself is like, it's painted like a pearl white color, kind of metallic, or white with metallic sheen on it, but I think it's pearl white. It's a pretty good choice with it, the way it stands out. Look at the teeth. The jaw pieces, they're extended out, you know, as like cheek protectors as part of the helmet going down the face, you can see, but they're like actually jaw bones. And you got a pair of wings up here, I guess. The eyes are painted black, as you can see. And then an interesting face sculpt. So you got the teeth showing, you know, battle-ready face. I always like that with these characters. Red eyes. Really cool. And then you can see the hair sticks out. Now, the helmet and hair is one piece that goes over the head from what I can see. Now, and here's the other hair piece. We'll get to that soon. So he has a separate hair piece that's going to pop on to replace that helmet. Here's a look from the side, or the right side. Look from the very back so you can get a better look at the hair. I do got some slop with this helmet, you know, the little white color, kind of painted, you know, going down the hair, right? So you can just see, again, it's all one mold. Here's a look from the other side. As far as the articulation with this helmet on the head and head itself, look all the way to the left, see to the right. Peg's really tight. Look all the way down, and that's as far as you're going to go, okay, back, because the hair hits the shoulder. And you can see the helmet's already popping off the head. So let's remove the helmet off the head, I guess, with the hair piece. See what it looks like underneath. There we go. Okay, so we can have a creepy looking bald He-Man. That works too. Anti-Eternia He-Man. You want the hairpiece, right? Even has, oh, it has splits up on top of the skull. And I don't know if they're like factory no, I think they're actually spider cracks. So I already talked about the red eyes, right? The teeth painted well in there, and even has the eyebrows are painted like in that glowing red color. And then going back to this helmet, let's check it out. Off the head, there we go. A little closer look. These are pretty soft. Look at the inside and look at the very back of the hair. Once again, side, right? Here. So, yeah, good design. You got to be, I don't know, these aren't articulate. It's just, again, they're just soft. Pretty cool piece. And bring He-Man back in again, and let's just put the hairpiece on him now while we're messing around with the head. So there's the hairpiece I already showed. It's going to pop right on the head like so. Go down. Plug it in and take a look at that. And there we go. There's Anti-Eternia He-Man without that helmeted piece with the hair, which is pretty cool because, you know, yeah, that works. Instead of an alternative head, it is a helmet. All right, not a bad looking head sculpt. Articulation, right, left, right. I mean, shouldn't change anything. Down and back. Hair still hinders, you know, hits the shoulders. Here's a look at the overall details. Really good sculpting. I like that dark red fiery look as far as the hair matching the eyebrows. So, jumping ahead, I want to bring in the new Eternia Flying Fists He-Man just to do a comparison real quick with the head against this new Eternia He-Man. Anti-Eternia He-Man, excuse me. Because I thought it would be the same head sculpt. No, it's different. I mean, the hair, style of the hair, the way it's parted and, you know, formed, it's kind of similar, but it's different. I mean, He-Man's hair is very similar in most figures. Let's see the side. It's a whole different hairpiece. And then the back. Completely different. So that's not really the same face sculpt from what I could see. And this was a pretty good face sculpt. I did like that for another type of He-Man head for this Flying Fist He-Man. It was basically the same one they used with the Thunder Punch one. But that one was weird with the paint and the eyes. It just, a lot of people didn't like it. But it's the same head. This is just different on the way they did the eyes, the paint. It just stands out better. I do like it. A lot of people did in the comments. And I believe this was the same head they used on the new Eternia Faker. I can't keep up with all these He-Man figures and new Eternia, Anti-Eternia. But yeah, it's similar, but it's different. All right? From what I can say. So I don't know, you know, if there's going to be another, again, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I guess another new Eternia He-Man coming. It's going to have a similar head sculpt, but without that mean grinning teeth. You know, just to be like more of a lower expression like this. The teeth still showing, but very He-Man-ish. You want to say that. So, yeah, different. But it can still work. You know, it can still work against this. It is kind of close. Or a lot of your He-Mans, but different. And again, he's an Anti-Eternia He-Man. The armor's different. He's a little different, so I'll forgive it. Anyway, just wanted to point that out. Dropping down to the armor, buck, and chest. So it has, underneath the armor, has a larger style chest that, again, this He-Man and a lot of the newer Masterverse figures came with when they upgraded the chest. But it's not the large chest like the vintage figures has or the 40th anniversary. I do like that. It's a good design style. So you have that cross armor, so you have a whole new, you know, you got the steel He in there, but then it's just different. You know, it's you have a couple different blades, just different for this Anti-Eternia He-Man. You got some steel spikes, those, you know, 3 of them up on top of the armor. So again, it's a whole different armor. You got fur that comes off both sides of the armor, black fur as you can see. Spinning it around, here's a look at the back, comes all down. You can just see how it connects. We'll take it off a little while. And he does have a weapon or sword holder. It's pretty cool. So as far as the articulation with the armor on, with the upper buck or chest, all right, so you can spin at that, go all the way forward and back, spin at the waist. Moving over to the arms, just typical Masterverse style arms, nothing different, right? Everything the same, the double hinge joint, elbow joint, same arm and everything. As far as articulation, let's test it out. Go up, down, forward, back, bicep swivel, right? And again with the double L joint, you can go all the way to the face, to the center, the chest. Really good articulation. And then he has these steel gauntlets that are, you know, cast in a bright metallic silver, and they're the same ones as the, yep, this He-Man here. How about the belt? No, it's a whole different belt. Okay, so same ones. And then he comes with 2 weapon gripping hands that can spin. And let's see, the hinge joint is this up and down? Yeah, this one goes up and down. Barely. You can't because of the gauntlet. The gauntlet should be like this. How about that way? Nope. Barely move it. Okay, kind of pointless. And then this hand can spin, and let's see, the hinge joint goes in and out. Same gauntlet, so they can spin and come off, right? And then you notice too, the colors on this figure. It's, I want to say like charcoal black, charcoal gray. You want to call it? It's not like that jet or tar black color like Anti-Eternia He-Man is always known for. If you go back to the classics, which I'll bring in a little bit in my package, and what they did with the Origins one, and now, because I wanted to try this head on the Origins later, and it's way off. It's just, it's a darker gray or charcoal color. So not that, I think I would have preferred it, that jet black color, almost like the hands. I don't know if they're supposed to be gloves, but see that? The hands are black. That's a cool color. And this, it's a nice color. It's just different. I didn't expect that gray. All right, and moving over to the left side, all the same. Let's test it out. Make sure my figure's arm don't fall off or something. All right, so, wow, see? Look how tight. I can barely move that. Okay, forward, back, right? Go all the way out to the down. Bicep swivel, bend at the elbow. Looks good. Already talked about the bracer. Could spin, come off. Go to the center of the chest and face. I already talked about the hand. Then dropping back down to the waist and legs. So, of course, I already said he could spin at the waist. Take a look at that new belt and the whole loincloth setup. That's awesome. Skulls. These almost like little screw-like blades that come out all the way around the belt. Yeah, he has his own unique loincloth. It's like a fabric piece. It goes all the way around here. Right? And then you can see just the different, it's almost like a lava effect in the front and this middle piece that hangs down the very center. Yeah, very lava-like, the colors of this figure. And that's what this Anti-Eternia He-Man, or the idea that dimension, kind of reminds me of Stranger Things, the Upside Down, or something like that. Maybe that's kind of where they grabbed some of the concept from, or vice versa, excuse me, because he was out first. As far as the idea, but yeah, really cool. I like it. Very flexible, this piece here. Same thing with the back part. And then as far as the legs, so they're just regular He-Man style leg, you know, Masterverse He-Man style legs. Go out with a split, kick forward, go back, bend at the knee. You got the thigh swivel, and then of course the drop joints go up and down on both legs. That one's a little bit. This one's really tight. This one goes up and down fine. All right, and then he has regular He-Man style boots. From what I can see, of course, you can spin at the boot, and then the foot can go up and down, somewhat stuck. Oh, there we go, up and down, rock side to side. And the other legs are all the same. Kick forward, go back, bend at the knee. I already said this can spin, right? The drop joint. I said bend at the knee, excuse me. And then same type of boot, can spin at the boot, and the foot can go up and down and rock side to side. Moving on, take a look at Anti-Eternia's He-Man's weapons and accessories. Look at that sword. That looks like the same sword that was in the 1987 He-Man movie. Looks very similar to it. I wonder if that's what it's paying homage to. It reminds me, but really awesome. The handle, you know, it's cast in that heavy metallic silver color like his belt and the bracers. So you do get that. And then you get this sword. It's an energy sword. Now, this is the same sword, I believe, that New Adventures He-Man comes with. It has a red laser blade. It's very similar to it. You could, you know, that's another awesome sword. And then look at this one. Wow. There's a lava sword. Now, it does have a little curve to it. I don't know if that's my sword's bent, or it's supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be. It's pretty straight that way. But look at that handle. It's kind of like a, you know, the vintage handle, but a lot different. A lot of stuff added to it. And then lastly, look at that shield. Wow, that's one of the most impressive shields I've seen yet. Look at the detail, textures, of color. You got the Castle Hellskull face, obviously, on the front with the eyes. Look at the blade coming out of the mouth, the wing spread on the shield. Just like, wow, awesome. The colors. And then flipping it around, you can see where his arm is going to go through and grab the handle. But then you notice that it has 3 weapon holders on the back. So he can hold it. See that? And you put like that sword through it like so. This one through the middle. They're all the same size. And then you can also put the energy sword through it. And he can hold it forward, all 3 weapons. I would guess the longer one maybe. Maybe I got it wrong. Put this one like that. And then the middle one. There you go. And then the long one will go through the middle. That's awesome. Okay, I set Anti-Eternia He-Man up with his weapons. So, of course, I put the shield in the left hand because, yeah, that's the only way you can put it. I mean, you can put it in the right, but then the skull is upside down, so it's kind of meant for the left. See, I put one of the swords, that lava sword, in the holder. I put the large, call it the movie sword, in the right hand, because just I like the length of that. It's pretty cool. And then here's a look at the sword in the back, the laser sword. All right, so it's 3 different places to hold the weapons. And then, as I already mentioned, you can, let's see what he looks like. again, do this, take this sword out of hand, and put it like so. And then, you know, you would have a punching fist ready with, let's look at the shield, put all 3 swords in it. And of course, I put the sculpt, the helmet back on the head. Pretty cool setup. And for the next setup, I just put both energy swords, both hands. Right, so I just put this one on the right side, that one on the left with the new adventure sword. And here's a look with the large sword going through the back of the holder so that I can hold all 3 swords. I believe it can. Get that out of the way. And this one's a little weird looking because of the blade, I think. Let me see. Just make sure it does. It's, a little difficult. But yeah, it holds that sword as well. And there's nowhere to really put the shield. Cool if you can hang it on the back somehow. I guess you could rig it. And then, of course, I just put the hairpiece on with the swords in hand. Just give you a quick look at that setup. Once again, take a look at the armor. Let's take it off the body. So I'm going to just flip them around. Remove the sword out of the back of the holder. There's 2 pops here like so. It's, okay, really pretty soft for the most part. Let's snap this one and that. I'm going to do it on camera. I don't think we have to remove the head. Nope. Pull it off the body like that. And there's a look at Anti-Eternia He-Man, the main buck if you're not familiar with it. Without the armor on. Colors, just texture. And then here's the articulation without it. All right. All good stuff. And then here's a quick look at the armor off the body. All right. Familiar with the main painting, the fur, everything I mentioned, sword holder. And it's pretty soft for the most part. Moving forward, taking a look at a couple comparisons against this Anti-Eternia He-Man. So yeah, here's my Anti-Eternia Classics He-Man in a package. I'm leaving this one in. I've been taking a lot of my classics out. Yeah, I don't want to tear this. This is awesome. I love the reddish colors on the bricks, the lightning red. Just, this is a very unique package. But there's a look at the classics version. Look at how dark that the skin is, right? Like a tar black color, shadow black, really creepy. He has the vintage the regular classics head. Somebody did make a custom vintage Inspire head, I think on eBay for him. I never got it, but somebody did make him, and they didn't include one at the time. And that was a good head. I did like that classics head for the He-Man. It's pretty cool. It's unique. Look at that shield. You're not familiar with it? It comes with the regular shield. He come with the Akala style sword black. I think the power sword and the axe. They really decked him out. And then here's a look at the back. Yeah, there's no bio on his figure either. I thought there was. Well, I just realized that. So that's a kind of a quick look between the two. And again, I mean, most people are familiar with the classic aesthetics, but look how different the colors are in this. This is still creepy. I do like it, but yeah, they're different in their own way. So I just want to bring that in. And then lastly, I'm going to bring in the Origins, let's do this right on camera, Anti-Eternia He-Man, like so. And there he is. So this one was, again, more based off the vintage figure. Right? Again, it's very tar black as far as the mold. I like that. The armor, you can see what they did with the armor. The hair is like, very identical to that. Well, what I wanted to do was as far as part swapping. So obviously I can't do it with the classics because I don't have them in card. And this armor will probably fit on the classics buck. But even if I wanted to try the heads, the colors are just way off. I don't think it's going to look good. But it's always fun to mix some of these parts with the Origins if you got them, which I do. Yeah, but the head's it's not going to work because of the skin tones. I put this head on this body. I'll try it for fun. But then the other thing is, will the armor fit on the Origins body? And now, here's a quick look at that Masterverse Anti-Eternia armor on the Origins Anti-Eternia He-Man. It fits perfect, does look cool. So if you want to bump it up and didn't want the regular cross armor, it does work. Yeah, obviously I just left his head on for now and put his power sword in hand. Now, he did come with a black axe and his own unique shield. But I was trying to put the weapons in hand. So let me get the sword out of the hand. This is like the Akala style sword. All right, but it doesn't work with the Origins hands. None of these weapons. They have very tiny sculpted hands. None of these swords, maybe this one will fit. I was trying it off camera a little bit, but it does not work. And this one doesn't either. Maybe you can modify a little bit if you want to use these. But how about that one? All right, that sort of works, but it's ready to pop out of the hand, so no go. Yeah, they have terrible fingers. I say it a million times to the Origins. That's not the point of it. So, all right, can't use the weapons, but the armor does work. And the other thing with this head, I want to see if this, even though it has a hairpiece, if it can go down over this head and work on this Origins head. If you just want to use the skull piece. Not really. That would have been fun. That's as far as I can go down with it, because it does have the hairpiece. Even if you got it down far enough, you might be able to hide it. It doesn't look like it's going to work unless Well, you know what, it probably could. It's not something I could do on cameras. This hair, you can separate it. I've seen people do it. I actually did it with He-Man. You can take this hair off the head, and then I bet you this would work on that head. It's not something I'm going to do because you got to heat it up, and it takes time. I'm going to break my finger. But yes, I think if you take this hair piece off, this will definitely fit over that head, and the hair will look perfect. So again, it's not something I can do on the fly. It's going to be a custom thing. But that would work if you wanted to with this the Hell Skull helmet. All right, so that's that. And then the other thing, I'm going to pop this head off real quick. And I already took the Masterverse head off. Put it on the body, right, with the hair on. Let's see what that looks like with the armor on. So, you know, it could work a little bit. It is different. Again, it's a charcoal gray over the dark gray, but you know, the light could make it work a little bit. It's quite off with the hairpiece on as far as articulation, left, right, go down and back. It does look like it sits, maybe just a ball. Oh, there it goes, off the body. And then with that head on, pop that off, and then let's try this piece, right, for fun. There we go. That looks pretty cool. And then it hides the face even more. So that's not a bad look for this Origins He-Man, or just this type of body because it's so dark. The whole idea of it. If you want to customize this figure with this, you know, the Masterverse parts. Once again, I have Anti-Eternia He-Man all dressed back up with his armor and head on. And the last thing I want to do is just remove the hand. Right, just to show you it's the newer style, the larger pegs, not the Origins. Because every now and then, Masterverse figures will come with an Origin style peg. I think Ninja War was like that, and there's a few other ones, but he has a larger style peg. Better look at the hand on that side with the hinge joint goes up and down. Very limited. And then, of course, just look at the bracer off the hand. Nothing new. It's, again, same one the Flying Fist He-Man had. And then here's a look at the main forearm if you're not familiar. So that about sums it up. And that's my review on a new Master of the Universe, New Eternia, Anti-Eternia He-Man. Really cool looking He-Man. I'll give it that. I'm a sucker for variants. I've said that many times when it comes to He-Man, Skeletor, certain figures. You know, and again, whether it's a He-Man variant like Flying Fists or Thunder Punch, it's Faker. It's, in this case, Anti-Eternia He-Man, which is, again, an interesting concept as far as that dimension world. And I believe going back to that dimension, it's not just He-Man. You got like Anti-Eternia Battle Cat, like they showed on the art. You know, you got Man-at-Arms, Teela. It's a whole universe with that. And there's people actually paint Origins figures to be like the Anti-Eternia versions. I've seen that. I wouldn't go that far. It's too much, but it is cool. I gotta say, it is a cool looking design for, yeah, Anti-Eternia He-Man with the new Eternia series. I mean, I like it. Look at that shield. That's like, that's accessory alone is just over the top. It's worth it in itself. All the swords you get, again, I think that's the movie style sword. Paying homage to it. It looks just like it. Awesome. You get the different, the laser, the energy, or lava swords, holding it back. The armor's cool. I love that Castle Hell Skull helmet. That's incredible. And how easy it is to change over the hairpiece to He-Man. It's not a bad looking head sculpt. You know, it looks like a He-Man head sculpt with the evil He-Man, what it's supposed to be. Anti-He-Man. You know, good articulation, everything. The loincloth, the belt. Yeah, you know, it's just awesome. The tones on the body aren't bad. That charcoal color, it's okay. It does what it has to do for New Eternia, but I think I would have rather that tar jet black color, I'm going to call it shadow black, like they did with the Origins and Classics. It's just a little creepier. And then you can mix parts again with the Origins, or if you want to try with the Classics, a little better. At least with the head. I mean, it's the only part you can really mix. Not a big deal. I guess they want to try something different. I would have rather the darker colors, but it's still creepy and cool. I like it. You know, does what it has to do. And overall, it's an awesome figure. I got to say, this whole wave with Mantenna, Mosquitor, which I'll review next, and this Anti-Eternia He-Man, is just it's a winner. Got some really cool figures, and he's another one on the list. So as always, I appreciate everybody watching. Until next time, take care.